Author Emily Henson states, "Film tends to reflect society, allowing us to look into our dark side of the mirror. Keeping this in mind, the role of women within horror films must be a key indicator of the role of women within today's society." This statement helps viewers to analyze and understand women's roles in horror films throughout history. In this video, we will be analyzing women's roles in 3 films: White Zombie, produced in 1932, Night of the Living Dead, produced in 1990, and Into the Forest, produced in 2015. Each of these films represents a different era, reflecting society's view of women. To begin, the film White Zombie, directed by Victor Halperin, presents the most demeaning portrayal of women amongst the 3 films discussed in this video. Madeline, a beautiful, feminine woman, is put under the spell of an evil villain. This villain can control Madeline's every movement, leaving her utterly helpless. She is a cliché damsel in distress who needs a strong man to save her from her hopeless predicament. Madeline exists simply so that the men of the story have something to do. She is used as a pawn of the villain and does nothing to help save herself. The 1930s saw a lack of feminist movement, due perhaps in part to the Great Depression. Women, despite having just received the right to vote, were still seen as belonging at home as a docile wife who concerned herself with housework. These views are clearly reflected in Madeline's helpless character. The 1990 remake of The Living Dead, directed by Tom Savini, offered a more satisfying female character. Barbara, a young woman who finds herself in the midst of a zombie apocalypse, rises to the challenge of protecting herself and others. Barbara is a necessary element in the story and doesn't exist solely to give the male hero something to do. In fact, Barbara is the sole survivor of a night spent battling zombies, fulfilling the action girl or final girl trope. Unfortunately, a viewer can clearly see that the producers wish to use Barbara's attractiveness to appeal to male audiences. For some reason, she ends up wearing a white tank top through which we can see her nipples, which is completely unnecessary to the plot. This movie reflected changing attitudes about women in the 1990s. 1992 saw an unprecedented number of women elected to Congress, and third-wave feminism was sweeping the nation. Women were starting to be seen as essential to the workforce, rather than pretty accessories in an office. The final movie we will be analyzing is Into the Forest, directed by Patricia Rozema. Not coincidentally, the film offers the most realistic portrayal of women amongst these 3 films. 2 sisters, Eva and Nell, must rely on their smarts, instincts, and each other to survive through a modern apocalypse. The women are forced to live without power for over a year. As they progress throughout the film, they become less conventionally attractive. Their hair gets greasy, their clothes get crumpled, and their faces get dirty. In other horror films, female actresses often have perfect hair and makeup despite living in filth and being attacked by zombies. The sisters are the focus of the entire movie, and all the other characters exist to further the sisters' storyline. The sisters are portrayed as flawed human beings. In White Zombie, Madeline is portrayed as a perfect woman, all smiles and no emotions besides ardent love and distress. The 21st century has demanded more from women's roles in horror movies. While many sexist movies still exist, more movies are being created that celebrate women's strengths rather than their physical attractiveness. Let's hope that as the years pass, horror films continue to grow and adapt to women's changing roles in society.